Today I want to talk a little bit about how we can go about moving from feelings of sadness and despair to slowly moving ourselves towards feeling happier and feeling more joy in our lives. There's a lot of people out there that really suffer sadness and they get stuck in these deep states of despair because of the thoughts that they're continuing to think. And this actually starts to become the feelings in the body. The feelings of sadness and despair can actually dominate and take over. And as I've said before, these things can become physical in the body as well. Look, crying is a positive thing. So sometimes with this sadness, there's a lot of crying. And I know for you men out there, you kind of hide these things. But look, see crying as a really positive thing because it helps to release a lot of these sort of sad feelings from your body. So having a good cry can sometimes be a good way of moving forward as well. So never dismiss crying. That can be quite a positive thing. Even with our kids, encourage that because it helps them to release some of this pain and angst and sadness in the body. But when you're trying to shift into feelings of more happiness and more joy, you've kind of got to look at doing these things in baby steps. You can't expect that you're going to go from feeling so sad and overnight you're going to just think differently and everything's going to be happy, because that's pretty unrealistic. You kind of got to work your way up to feeling this way. So there's things that you can do. I think you've got to look at the things that really bring you joy yourself, and you kind of know what these things, everyone has different passions. It might be that you take your dog for a walk and that distracts you from everything. It might be that you go to a movie for 2 hours, and these are the kind of things that will actually get your mind drifting onto other thoughts. So rather than just playing these sad thoughts over and over in your mind and getting stuck in them, you can actually interrupt them, and it's by interrupting them that it helps you to start to shift in another direction. Sometimes they say even something as simple as gardening, you can get out and start digging or planting things in your garden or even watering. And they say it's very hard to actually focus on doing too many things at once. Yeah, I know us women, we're not bad at doing that, but for your mind, sometimes these things like just being out in nature, going for a walk, listening to music, things that'll actually interrupt your thoughts is the way to go about starting to shift out of the sadness. And I don't mean that you're going to stay there. You'll have times where you slip back into the sadness, but keep doing the things that will help you to shift. Another example is just sitting out and like patting your cat or patting one of your pets or talking to your animals. These are things that you sort of get brought back into the moment. Having a great day out with your kids, just switch off for a day and take them for a drive somewhere, go to the mountains and go for a bushwalk. These are things that'll get your mind out of this continuous sadness and what's actually going on. And I know that's not easy sometimes for people to do. They really do have to push themselves, especially if they're suffering depression and things that are sort of taking them to those depths of despair. But really look at ways of shifting this, because I've said before, there's also a lot of things on YouTube. Paul McKenna's a great hypnosis person, and he does amazing stuff. So you can do like the power of positivity, and that'll help to flick that switch in your mind as well. Sometimes when you're feeling really sad, he'll actually go into your subconscious mind and help you to sort of think more positive thoughts. So there's a lot of things you can try out there. So when you're feeling really sad, don't just stay wallowing in that sadness. Try and do a few things that can actually help you to shift and just give you some relief for a couple of hours, because sometimes a couple of hours off can just be enough to sort of interrupt the continuous cycle. So give these things a little go. I think you'll find that you can manage to shift yourself a little bit just by doing some of these really simple things. But, don't just sit around and just think that's your lot in life. You've just got to be sad, because it's up to you to change that. Other people can't come and kind of drag you out of your sadness all the time. So get proactive with yourself and pull yourself out of the sadness and start to head towards places where you feel more joy and more happiness. Bye.